Hi, I'm Linz. Welcome to Becoming Everwell, a channel where we talk about the ongoing journey of becoming. I'm a former high school English teacher who believes that some of the best kind of learning happens outside of the classroom, and I tell stories about those things. Today's episode is directed to all of you who are dropping off your kids in college and saying goodbye and experiencing, in some way, for the first time, an empty nest. I make sense of life by writing about real everyday stuff that makes us who we are. Some of these snapshots are fun, some are more serious. Maybe they'll open up something in you too. Let's grow. Kelly Corrigan resides at the top of my list of famous people that I'd choose to befriend if, we happen to be neighbors. I got to meet her once, 6 years ago, and I said to her, "We're not friends yet, but someday we will be." She laughed and humored me with this photo. I've seen her speak since then, and we're still not friends, but I'm holding out hope just like I am for Pink. In the meantime, and luckily for all of us, Kelly's podcast, which is called Kelly Corrigan Wonders, satiates my desire to be connected to her, and an episode from a while back on becoming an empty nester had me reeling. I've added it to the notes so you can add it to your listening queue. Like Kelly Corrigan expressed about her own journey, experiencing the intimacy of parenthood has been the great dream of my life. Also, it's no secret that the predictable and best-case scenario plotline of this dream ends with the kids leaving home, a departure that seems to be coupled with a messy mixture of emotions like sadness, joy, vulnerability, hope, loss, gratitude, emptiness, anticipation, and more. I'm not yet there. I'm about 4 years out from my nest changing shape and 7 years out from my nest being empty. But ever since I first felt rumblings of my oldest child letting me go when she was 7, I've been quietly aware of our ticking timeline in this stage of life that I relish. The rumbling appeared when my daughter sang a solo before a crowd. Afterwards, when she didn't look to me as she finished, I distinctly noticed an unfamiliar, wispy feeling inside my chest, a sensation that translated as her being less my child somehow and more her own being, a bittersweet awareness that the hands-on chapter of active parenting will someday come to an end. I wrote about it in a piece called One of the Million Dreams. It's on my Substack, or you can listen to it by looking back through my YouTube because I also posted her performance that sparked that sensation. The links are in the notes. So this week, my sister-in-law, my next-door neighbor, and a handful of dear friends are all taking their kiddos to college for the first time, and I'm so aware of their heartache. So I want to share a love letter that I wrote to those in the throes of transitioning to an empty nest. Now, I know that this audience is comprised of parents across the stages, so whether this speaks to you today, reawakens a potent moment from your past, or drops you into your imagined reality in a handful of years from now, I hope it brings you comfort. It's the letter I'm sure that I will need down the road. So here goes. Dear empty nester, beneath your skin, in the innermost core of your being, lives an ache. No one else sees it or knows it quite like you do, but the ache began its life back when you became a mom. The two coexist, being a mom and that ache. It's part of the deal. The ache has been a subtler part of your biology until now. The ache quite suddenly lounges in the home of your heart, stretching out its limbs into the farthest reaching places within you. The ache is real, as apparent as the nose on your face, and yet no physical evidence of it exists. The ache is fluid, like a body of water. The ache's vastness changes shape, and some days it will be a babbling brook, but today it's an ocean. The ache is an unsolved mystery, an open end, the forever after question about your child's well-being, a wondering if you'll ever really know them, hold them, see them again in the same way. The ache is a period, a punctuation mark at the very end of the last sentence of this treasured chapter of their lives and yours. New chapters await, but their childhood has ended, and motherhood, as you've known it, has ended too. The ache is a muscle. It has power. It pushes you forward as much as it gets sore with exertion. The ache is honest. It knows the intricacies of your parenthood story. It reminds you of the wins and the failures. It sings and stings with truth. The ache is a home, a safe assurance knitted into your cells that so much love has been shown and felt and known and shared and grown. The ache is a release valve of the errands, the scheduling, the meal prep, the carpools, the picking up of messes, and the forms to fill out. The ache is a blunt brushstroke of clashing color on your inner canvas. No undo button will erase it. Instead, you've got to work around it. The ache is a lockbox, a keeper of the memories and closeness, a keeper of the ordinary, mundane moments that now feel deliciously perfect. The ache is an echo of all the years and seasons and days and hours and minutes and seconds of your devotion. The ache is a witness to the extraordinary moments that bubbled into existence simply because your child is exactly who they are. The ache is a glimmer of the magic sprinkled throughout the journey. The ache is a trigger of hurts from each painful bend or broken thing. The ache is a worn path of all the sleepy, back-to-bed trods, of all the fairies, bunnies, and jolly figures whose footsteps you've shadowed, of all the late night waiting up and pacing. The ache is a promise fulfilled. And this ache that is yours to carry is also proof that you left it all on the field, proof that you poured emotions and effort and energy into this chance at parenthood. Whether or not you were the best parent or even did your best most of the time, you've steadily contributed to a remarkable illustration, a mosaic of a map with all the hues of paint on your palette to provide your child with a color-rich childhood and foundation to grow into their unique selves from here. Your masterpiece lives on within them. You've done that. You've given them that. And they'll refer to it often without your knowing. They'll likely continue to ask for directions, but the imprint of you lives inside of them and always will, just as the imprint of them lives inside of you and always will. Although the ache takes up so much darn space at the moment that it's sometimes hard to breathe, when the ache settles down for a nap, because like the toddler, the ache eventually will need rest, be reminded of that color-filled palette of yours. Keep on coloring with those hues and do your best to shift the focus and create something just for you. A colorful landscape and a map of your own for this enduring, beautiful life of yours. The ache is an opening for them and an opening for you too. Let's grow. I'm Lindsay Hurdy. Learn more about me and my offerings on my Substack, lindsayhurdy.substack.com. You may not know that in addition to publishing my own writing, I help people write all kinds of important letters and documents, from college essays to end-of-life love letters. So let's connect if that's something that's on your mind that you'd like help with. Whether you're here for help with writing, a desire for inner fulfillment coaching, or for quiet inner growth, I am grateful that you are here, and I am sending love your way. Until next time. Be sure to like and subscribe and click that bell to get alerts for new posts. I'd be ever grateful.